Hey guys, I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. I want to take a quick second and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say thank you for anyone who's found your way into the review, overview, my observations of this said knife here. Thank you guys, gals, and if you're so inclined and you'd really like to help me out even more, if you'd hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, that would be awesome. If not, all good. I'm glad you're here. So today I'm going to give a short-term review, about a week, of the Koenig Mini Arius. This is one of the knives that was sent in from my buddy and your buddy, Lord Needham. Lord Needham is on Instagram at Lord Needham. Has some of the coolest knives in his collection, and was nice enough to share several with me that I've done reviews on. This one, he was kind enough to let me buy from him, and it is now a Javon Koenig Arius and Mini Arius, and it is a Grail acquired knife. It is something that when the first Arius, you guys, if you search, and I'll try to think and remember to put a link to the video up there, but I originally did a review, thanks to my buddy A to Z EDC, on the Koenig full-size Arius, which was this knife right here. And that just shows you the two knives in relation. And the knife was, for me, just a little bit large for a daily carry. I appreciated the knife. This is the flipper, the flipperless model. I love the milling, everything about the full-size Arius I loved. I just could not see myself investing in a knife that I would not carry as often as, I didn't want a safe queen. I wanted something I could use, I could carry, I could cut with. And the Mini Arius, I knew was going to be something that was going to be much more interesting to me, infinitely so, than the full-size Arius. Now, I did not expect to have a chance when everything lined up and I was able to get one. So that's kind of knife karma, and I feel blessed, and I thank Lord Needham for that. But what I wanted to do is kind of take you guys through this knife. And some of the things, because I recently reviewed the Oz Roosevelt, and before I send that back, hopefully I'll review it today or tomorrow. I want to do kind of a side-by-side of the Oz Roosevelt and this Koenig Mini Arius, because they're right about the same size, even though the Roosevelt gives you a little bit different, probably more ergonomical hand placement. So this is a Javon style size knife. It is going to be, if you grab it behind the trigger, which I don't, it is going to be a small medium knife, or smedium to quote Christine, Women Carry Knives. I like to grab it right here, which again, I grab the bottom of the flipper tab and use my finger right there. Let me get some paper. So instead of holding it back here and making my cuts, I like to hold it up here. Very slicey. Very pokey. And very ergonomical. So Koenig, the Arius design, the original Arius design was, if I'm not mistaken, was a collaboration between Bill Koenig and TJ Schwarz that kind of came up with this, what I've always thought of since I've been in the knife community, which has not been that long, probably going on 3 years. Kind of an iconic design, a design that I always admired. It was a knife that I really thought, when I reviewed this and was able to keep this for a while, which I do love this choil without the flipper, that it would make my grail list. And at the exact same time that I had this knife, he let me use his Evo 3.0, which is just as big, but the Evo 3.0 kind of captured my heart, I guess because I look at this knife more as a gentleman's style knife, kind of like the Oz, where when I look at the Evo, I look at it kind of like more of a monster type, get it done knife. But this knife is from a business, it goes in and out of pocket with ease. You've got this really nice milled titanium pocket clip. You've got this pattern milled titanium, which I don't know if you guys, or if that's picking up on my camera, but you've got diagonal milling going several different directions. We've seen that before, but it's not missed out on the Koenig. You've got the milling lines, the intersecting lines. It just makes for a very interesting texture, very interesting knife. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 100% USA made, but I think they make them in Idaho. And the Koenig is, this particular one is M390. I think the full size is M390 too. Yeah, they're both M390. Hollow grinds. They do have the deployment tab. This one also has the flipper tab. And guys, the drop action on these knives is next level. I don't know how to, you've got to get past that detent ball right there. So when I get to right there, and I'm horizontal, see I get right there. Perfectly centered. You've got this blue anodized hardware, D-shaped pivot, so you've got a captive pivot. You've got this nice integrated back spacer that does give lanyard lovers a place for a nice lanyard there. The pocket clip again works extremely well. The contours on the milled handles they just feel fantastic. You can thumb flip this knife if you want to. I'm not a thumb flipper guy, but to me the middle finger flip is absolutely golden. And I thought originally that I wanted a flipperless version because flipperless version because I'm so into the reverse finger flick. Some knives, and as you guys have noticed in the last couple of months, I bought some flipper-only knives, which used to be an instant disqualifier for me. I would not buy it if it was not have another deployment method. But the flipper tab on this knife and the detent is dialed. I'm trying to get it to fail. Yeah, it's not gonna fail. It's just got really, you see it double clutch there? If I put it right there, now that'll break in more, but you can see where that detent ball is. Right, yeah, and the steel lock bar insert. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can get it a little brighter for you. Very nicely done. The blade geometry and the tang really meet up well. You're probably at about 30% lockup there. You do have some micro milling on the inside of these scales to further reduce the weight. We'll get a weight on it here in a second. So what else interesting can I tell you about this knife? Well, you've got stone-washed hollow grind here, stone-washed up on this nice swedge, and then you've got satin on the flats here. And yeah, guys, I mean, I'm going to do a video coming up on kind of premium USA makers, and I've always admired the Koenig Arius. I've not been a huge fan, and it's because I've not handled one, not paid that much attention to one. But the other Koenig knife, the pointed blade one, because I used to think that might be my my way to get around a knife like this that was a little bit large for my hand, even though it's PM2 size. It's not large for my hand. It was just larger than I would like. But they've got another knife too, and for some reason it's slipping my mind now, but Koenig has two designs that I'm aware of. But let's do a couple of quick size comparisons so you guys can see really how small this knife is. That is the Benchmade bug out. That is your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. This is the mini bug out. So I'm going to say it is just about the exact same length as the Benchmade bug out, which means, as I grab the Javon promotional tape measure with the sticker on it that I picked up at Amazon, I'm going to measure from the back of the knife, not the back spacer, and I'm looking at 7 1/8 from the back spacer. I'm looking at 7 1/4, 7 1/8, 7 1/4. The handle behind the trigger, if you take it to the back spacer, it's 4 inches from right here to right here. If you want to measure from there, you were looking at 3 1/2 inches. So 3 1/2 inches from here to here. Where I hold the knife, you've got roughly 4 inches from here to here. Now, would that be the most safe grip in the world? For me it is, because my finger fits perfectly within that sharpening choil, which is what that is. It's not a finger choil, it's a sharpening choil, and it's done exceptionally well. You can see where that plunge grind comes and where your thickness stops. And you can sharpen plenty of that M390 off of there. You've got really nice jimping that are ridges that pick up your finger when you go in to free the access to the lock bar, and you've got this nice milling here that allows you to have a little bit of a pass through for that lock bar. So it's literally, I mean, just a joy to fidget with. I've probably spent more time in the last week fidgeting with this knife than I have with any other. The pivot has not walked a bit. I've not had to adjust it. Don't plan to adjust it until I have to. Not one of the knives that I'd take apart just for giggles. And one thing I noticed that I wasn't aware of before that I find pretty cool is if you look through where that clip is, you see 6182. I don't know if you can see, there's a number through that pocket clip. Let's see, I don't know if that's showing up for you guys or not. But there's a number down there on the frame, which I think is the, I don't have my COA here, but I bet you that is the serial number. Because when the blade closes, you can see the blade through the clip. Let's look at A to Z's here. Same situation. That says Gen 4 is what his says. This is new to me, guys. It's kind of an Easter egg. And to me, that looks like a G102. Put it down there in case you guys can see it. Help me understand what it says. I think it says G102. But anyway, I thought it was really cool, and I didn't notice that beforehand, that he leaves where this weight relief is, this little opening in the frame that you don't even pay attention to because the blade covers it. But then what he prints inside the scale, you can see through there. I think that's really cool. I'm a weirdo though, right? So weirdos like me are going to like stuff like that. So let me real quickly grab our calipers, and we will learn that we are starting with 0.1410 blade stock, 0.48 on the overall thickness, so it's less than a half inch thick. Behind the edge, which I'm never really good at getting, I'll try to get it close. .0100, and guys, you know me, I don't know if that's going to be accurate. We saw that it sliced paper, and it hadn't hit a stone yet, hadn't hit a strop. Could probably benefit from a stropping since it's new. But yeah, I mean, it's just a knife that I didn't expect to have the opportunity to grab, and I can thank Lord Needham for that. And it's a knife that has just exceeded my expectations. Again, I did not know, because it's a user for me, guys. I'm going to carry this knife, and this is A to Z EDCs. He's got a little fancier clip on his, and his is the flipperless model, but much bigger knife, and that shows them kind of both side by side, because he was very surprised about how much smaller this particular one was, the Mini Arius. But then when you look at it next to some of the other knives that I've been carrying and showing the last few days, most notably the one that I'm going to do the comparison with, it's right about the size of the Roosevelt, even though the Roosevelt undeniably in my hand gives you a better grip. But yeah, guys, that is the Koenig Mini Arius. Thank you to Lord Needham, our brother from another mother. Y'all all go give him a follow if you're not already, which I know most of you are, over on the Instas. And thank you for watching my video. I appreciate each and every one of you. All I ask is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.